Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Restaurant Management System tutorials. Today is our lecture number 13 and in today's class we are continuing our orders window and hopefully we'll insert the data in today's class inside our orders table and the orders details table also. Okay, this is our part number 4 and I'm your instructor Ali Raza. So let's start. Alright, so in the previous class we have done some changes and let me show you. You have to first disable all these controls so that this add button will become in the usage. So when you click that add button, I will tell you how I did that. I just disabled all these controls and the button also. Okay, so let me show you the previous tasks and then we'll continue. Okay, so quantity and then dine in and then floor and then table and then add to cart. So it is performing here, and look, I have added serial numbers here, and when you add another item, let's say Chinese, and then item and then quantities 1 and then add. So look, all things are going to be happening very well. And when I remove the first item, so notice the serial numbers remove, so it will become 1. It is not 2 already. So how I did that, I must tell you first and then we'll continue. The first thing you have to do after the previous lecture is to select all these controls along with the button and make them enabled false. Okay, and then on add button we have the inheritance hierarchy already in the software, or in the software we have seen in the previous lectures. So when you press the add button, these controls will be enabled, but this button will not be enabled because this button is not added in that reset controls and in reset functions. So what you have to do, you have to come inside your main class and come inside your reset functions and add one function, one particular line of code here. That is the button. If this is a button, so make it enable because it is my enable function, enable reset. And after that you have the reset disable because this is a button, so you just have to disable it, and then enable controls, come inside and you have to paste here that code, and inside this function disable controls you have to paste this code again, but this time with false. Okay, so I have added button here also, so that's why when you are running this orders window, everything is disabled, and when you click add button, everything is fine. Okay, I haven't performed any functionality inside add button because it is inherited by default and the code is also inheriting here, and the left panel is enabling and disabling based on that function that is behind this button. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now moving forward, what I have done more, that the serial numbers. So let's go to the serial numbers. The first thing that I have done is the add to cart button. On this add to cart button, in the end I have just called this method. After everything I have called this method in the last. So this is the method that we are using in the previous lectures also for giving the numbering in the grid view. So I have just called this method, okay, from the main class. And when you remove an order, so the orders, the item should be renumbered again, reiterated again, or recounted again. So what I have done, on the remove button click, let me show you the remove button click. Here we have the remove button click, and I have called that method again, simple, so that the numbers are coming again and again serial wise. Okay, so that's what the changes are. And now what we have to do, we have to go to our database and we have to add some columns. Amount paid, amount returned, all things are here, and one thing is missing, that is the order status. Okay, is the order is in pending mode, is the order is in complete mode, or is the order is in is the order cancelled? So you have to specify that also. So where you have to specify that, in order details or in orders, or in which column you have to specify that. Let us think, because order status is 1. Okay, so you don't need to add it again and again, so you have to add in orders table. Okay, so you have to append or increase a column inside your orders table. Let me add it. The first thing you have to do is to alter, let me zoom in, alter table, and the table name is orders, add, column name should be O underscore status, and it should be tiny integer, and not null, because status you have to add every time. Execute, commands completed successfully. Now for references I am adding a comment. Let's say 0 is for incomplete or pending, and then 1 is for complete or finished, and let's say 2 is for cancelled. So these are the values that I will store in this particular column. So that's why I have mentioned here for future references. Okay, now moving forward, we have to click the save button to save the order. Okay, and by default, do we have something here that is representing the status of the order? There is nothing, and there is no window or no control for the status. So what we have to do, we have to specify the status also. Alright, so in order to incorporate the status also, I am selecting all my controls and coming in the properties, and I have to create size. So if I make them size 9, so it will not become so much bad. So hopefully the space will be available for my status. Oh sorry, yes, status. So let me reset it again, and we'll continue then. Alright, so welcome back. Look, I have decreased the size of every control so that I can have a space for my status, and I have added 3 things, that is pending and complete and cancelled. Okay, so these are the options. Let me give a name here, status dropdown. It's status dropdown. Okay, so from this dropdown list we can be able to select the status of the order. Okay, now moving forward, what we have to do, we have to insert this all data inside this table, the orders table, and then the orders details table. So we have 2 insert procedures inside the insert class. So let's go to the insert class, insertion, and copy this code and paste it here. Let me zoom in, paste it again, and change its name to insert order first, insert order, and then the parameters should be different. So what are the parameters? First of all, the date, then customer ID. Okay, date, customer ID, order type. So date is the date time, it's date time and the date, and then the customer ID. So ID is an integer, customer ID, and then you have to specify, it's in big integer, so you have to specify as integer 64, and then after that you have order type, that is in tiny integer, so integer 16, order type, and then we have to specify the floor ID and table ID, that is also in integer, tiny integer, so integer 16, floor ID, and then integer 16, yes, integer 16, what we have, table ID, and then after that we have total amount, amount paid, and amount returned. So because this is amount, so float total amount, and then float amount paid, and then float amount returned. Okay, so these are my procedures. Now remove this code because I don't need this code, and then we have to specify our stored procedure for inserting orders. So have we created the procedure for that insert orders? No, I don't have created any procedure for that. So new query, and right here create procedure st_insert order, and then as, and you have to specify the column names step by step with the variable names. So date, then we have the customer ID, and then it should be big integer. After that, order type ID, and it is in tiny integer, and then you have to specify the floor ID. I am looking from the left hand these columns. Okay, so after order type we have floor ID. Floor ID is in tiny integer, and then we have table ID, and it is in small integer. So you have to verify the data types, and then total amount is money data type, and then we have the amount paid. So AMT amount paid, it is also in money, and then we have @ amount returned, so it is also money. Now what we have to do here, we have to write the insert query. Insert into, what's the name of table, that is orders, and then values, and then come inside and give sequentially and respectively the things that you have mentioned. So that's a good practice if you place things sequentially. Let me close this thing, and so that I can have the space to write more. And then floor ID, and then table ID, and then T amount, and then come downwards so that you can get more space. After T amount you have AMT paid, and then you have AMT returned. That's it. So you have created your insert procedure. Okay, create it. Okay, it is saying your column definitions are not matching still. Why? Date, then customer ID, then order type, then floor ID, then table, floor table, then amount. Yes, one thing we have skipped. Refresh it. We have added a column status, so we have to add the status also. So @status, and that is tiny integer, and then you have to specify here @status. Alright, so that's it. Now it will execute. Commands completed successfully. Now we have to create the update order procedure also. So copy this and copy this from here, copy and paste. So instead of insert order, you have to write here update order, and then you have to write here @order ID, that is big integer, and you have to specify here update orders. Now what you wanted to update, let's say if mistakenly you have done something, so you have to update your data here, that is order underscore date, set order underscore date equals to @date, and then order underscore customer ID. So that's my customer ID equal to customer. Then you have to specify the order type, O underscore order type equal to @order type, O underscore, we have next thing is floor ID, then table ID. So floor ID equals to @floor ID, then O underscore table ID equals to @table ID. Then after that we have amount, total amount, O underscore total amount equal to T amount. Then order underscore amount paid equal to @AMT paid. Order underscore returned, so amount returned equal to @amt return, and then the status o underscore status equals to @status, where all things are now set, where o underscore order id is equals to @order id. So this is my update stored procedure. Let me zoom out it so you can get it, the complete picture of this stored procedure. So update order execute, commands completed successfully. Now let's have the delete stored procedure for this. So again copy this one and paste it below, and for deletion you don't need anything, remove this all. I'm copying and pasting because the parameters should remain the same, so that we don't have to face the difficulty again and again here in the code in C#. So delete order, let me zoom it. Okay, now delete from orders where o underscore id is equals to @order id. So that's my delete. Okay, so now the next thing that we have to specify is the retrieval of the orders. So after insertion of the order, we should have to retrieve that order. Okay, but I will not retrieve here, so I am not creating the retrieve stored procedure right now. Let us create some more stored procedures for this table, that is order details table. Okay, because certain things are fixed, are one time, but the products you are ordering are multiples. So that products should store inside this particular order details table. Okay, so for that you have to create a insert procedure for that also. So create procedure st underscore insert order details, and then as, and before as you have to specify the order id. Okay, first thing is the primary key, so you don't need to store it. Order id and product id, two things you have to specify. So order id, that is big integer, and then product id, that is also integer. Then insert into order details values, and then you have to specify order id, and then you have to specify the product id. So that's my insert order details created. Commands completed successfully. Now what you have to do, you have to create another procedure for update. So copy it and paste it here, create procedure, and write here update order details, and you have to specify @order detail id, and you can delete with respect to order id also. Okay, you can delete with respect to order id, and you have to update the record with respect to the order details id. That's fine, that's its own stored procedure. So order details id, and then it should be the tiny integer data type. Update order details set od underscore order id equals to @order id, and od underscore product id equals to @product id. Okay, where what od underscore id is equals to order details id. Simple. So that's my order details table. Execute. I'm not creating a delete query, because when you delete an order, the order details will automatically delete it, because you have created the relationship between the two. In the previous lecture, when we have created these tables, look at this table, the order details table and the orders table. So the relationship is here available, order id is already here. So when you delete an order, its specific details in the order details table should also be deleted because you have created a relationship. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, and let me verify that relationship. Let us go to the design and go to relationships. Look, if that's the relationship, what are the column specifications? This is with respect to product, and this is with respect to the order ID. Look, and its inserts and delete specifications are no actions. So if you wish to make it cascade, you can do it cascade, because when you delete the order detail will also be deleted. So that's fine. Okay, so close it and yes, save it. Commands completed successfully. Now let's go to the code. First of all, that I have to do is the insert order procedure. Copy it and come inside the code in insertion class and paste it here, and here remove all these things. I don't need these things. Instead of these, I have to specify my parameters and values. Now all set. Come here, the date first, copy it and paste it. Then you have customer ID, copy it and paste it. Let me copy and paste all the parameters and then I'll be back. Alright, so I have placed every parameter here. Now with respect to these parameters, I have to specify the parameters that I will pass when I call this method. Order type, that's my order type, and then the floor ID, and then you have table ID, and then you have total amount, and then we have AMT paid, amount paid, and then you have amount returned, and then you have status, and the last the status. No, we haven't add status, I think. So let's go. Yes, we haven't add status, so string, and we have to specify the status. Sorry, it should be an integer 16 because it's integer 16 in the database. So let's find. Alright, so I have specified the status at the end, that is integer 16. Now place it here, that status. So all set. Then the connection will open and then it will execute and then connection will close and then a message box will be appeared. So this time I'm not going to show a message box because, or what can you say, you can save or you can show the message. So what should we place? Yeah, order added successfully, we can say here. So remove this thing and write here order placed successfully, and then into the system should be removed order placed successfully. That's it. So that will be the message. And then unable to save, you can write here order possible error, remove this message. I don't need any extra message here, just simple that message, unable to save order details because of any exception, and then that's it. But you have to add together the order details also. So I am creating another function, that is order details public static insert order details, insert order details. So what you have to insert here, that is the order ID, that is integer 64 order ID, and then you need an integer product ID. That's it. So these two things you have to insert in that procedure. So remove this and remove everything. You don't need, come downwards. You have inserted these in this procedure. So copy this, paste this, remove these two parameters and give these parameters instead, and then you have to copy it and paste and then pass your parameters. So order ID and product ID. Now it's fine. Now in this insert order details, remove this message. I don't need to show this message because when you come inside your database, sorry, software, there are, let's say, 10 items. So whenever that one item is inserted, the message box will be popped out, then another item, again a message box will be popped out. So it's better to remove that message box. At the end we can show the message box after insertion, after successful insertion of the data. So I have removed the message box here, simple as that. Okay, and that's my method, and that is returning, I can write here an integer. So public static integer, and then at the end I am returning that res. So you have to specify res here. Look, res is not coming because it is inside try. So copy, paste, and then it is 0 by default, and then remove this integer here. Now it's fine. So whatever will be the value in res will be returned. So if the data is inserted how many times, any number of times, that number will be returned when you call this particular method. Okay, if the data is not inserted, then the res becomes 0. So we can check it on runtime. Now after creating these two methods, let's create some more methods, and let's go first inside the orders window, inside save button. So on save button, what do you have to specify? You have to specify the check details that you have specified here. Okay, but because you have specified everything, you haven't left blank that these validations are already applied when you are clicking on add to cart button. Okay, so I think you don't need to again revalidate the controls. I don't think that it is mandatory for this particular scenario. So can we directly add the record inside the table on this save button? Because look, it's obvious, when you click this add button, already these controls are validating, and you cannot leave blank any control. So that all things are already validated. So simple is that we have to first insert the order. So come inside the order window and look, because you are doing multiple steps, you are processing multiple steps, so you have to perform transaction in this. So using, and then transaction scope, it's a class and it belongs to this controls. Press control dot. Okay, control dot is not coming, so no problem. Right click, transaction scope, yes, it's fine. Right click, and where is resolve? Okay, it's not appearing, so we have to apply transactions. For transaction you have to import a reference. So right click, reference, and right here transaction. So it is not added, look, so I have to click it, check it, and click OK. Now it will be appear control dot. You look, it is working. Using system dot transaction is added at the top. If I show you, look, using system dot transaction is added. Now come inside here, transaction scope ts, or equal to, or you can write here sc equal to new transaction scope. What will happen? It will protect your data from being let's say you are entering data in two tables. Okay, I'm telling you about transaction scope. So when you are inserting in multiple tables, let's say if one data got an exception, if one table insertion got an exception, the other table insertion will automatically roll back. So your data will remain protected and the data will not be erroneous on runtime. So because you wanted to store data on multiple tables together, when you press the save button, one is the order details and one is the order table. So when these two data insertions will be successfully inserted, then your one operation will be completed. So that's what transaction will help you. If any insertion will give you an error, the other insertions that take place already will be rolled back automatically due to this. Okay, and your data will not be erroneous on runtime. So sc dot complete, that's the ending point. In between you have to write your code. Okay, now try catch is already there inside the functions. So what you have to specify, again you have to specify try catch here for multiple exceptions. Now inside this, the first thing you are doing is insertion dot insert order. Now it is asking you date time. So date time is in date time picker. So what is the name of my picker? where is the date? I haven't pick up the date, so we can take the system date directly. Okay, we can take the system date. So for system date we can write here date time dot today. You can use now for time, and for today you will get the current date, the current system date. All right, so date time dot today, comma, then it is asking you to provide customer ID. Look, if the order is takeaway, if the order is home delivery, then you don't need customer ID, isn't it? No, you need customer ID for that. If the order is dine-in, then you don't need customer ID. So for that purpose you have to specify a condition first, if, and come inside, if order type drop down dot selected index is equals to 0. 0 means dine in. Okay, so when you are in dine in mode, this method should be like, the order ID should be, customer ID should be 0, let's say. I hope it is clear to everyone. So I am not inserting any customer ID. Order type, so order type is the selected index. Okay, so order type drop down dot selected index, if it is dine in then 0, and if it is takeaway then 1, and then if it is home delivery then 2, and so on. So selected index, and then you have to specify the table ID. So look, you are in dine in mode right now, so you have to specify the table ID. So table ID is in combo box, so convert dot to integer 16. You have to specify which data type, short, so integer 32 will be valid. You can write 16 also, no problem. And you have to specify what, the floor ID. So floor drop down dot selected value, because it is coming from database. Okay, dot toString. I hope it is clearing and understandable to everyone. Now what it is asking, it is asking me to provide table, so convert dot to integer 16, and then the table drop down. So table drop down, tables drop down, I think, yes, it's tables drop down dot selected value, because it is also coming from database, dot toString, the ID will be picked up. And then what it is asking me, the total amount. So where is the total amount? If you notice, inside this orders window we have the total amount of the order here. What is this label? This is the total label. So come inside, and because that is the label, so you have to convert dot to single, and you have to put it in total label, total amount label, or what was that? It was total label. So total label is the correct control dot text. So I have picked up the amount from that, and then what it is asking, save it, and then okay, it is the IntelliSense is not working. Let me close this and come inside the code again. Okay, come downwards so that you can be able to see it clearly. Now comma, what it is asking me, okay, now it is asking me about the amount paid, but this time amount paid is nothing, you are just placing the order, right? So put it 0, amount returned 0, and then the status. So status is where? In your combo box. So what can you write here? Status drop down dot selected index. You can use this selected index, and then close the bracket, semicolon. Okay, look, the error is still there because selected index is returning an integer, and this method is asking for short. So convert dot to integer 16, bracket open, and then close. And same is the case copy, paste and paste. So what will happen when the status is 0, that means pending. When it is complete, then it is 1, and then it is when it is cancelled, so the index will be 2. Okay, so 0 1 2, then that's it. That's the insert order table, insert order details. Now this insert order should be with respect to dine in and takeaway also, sorry, takeaway on home delivery also. So for that you have to specify the order here also. So copy this code and paste it. Okay, else if it is takeaway, so if it is takeaway, then date is fine, and then what is this? Let me check. Yes, if it is takeaway, then the customer ID. But where we have the customer ID? We don't have the customer ID here. So how can you pick the customer ID? Via the phone number. Okay, based on that phone number you will pick up the customer ID. So double click on this phone number and come inside this code here. Okay, so when you put the phone number, the customer ID should be retrieved with respect to that phone number. Okay, so let me write a stored procedure for that. New, create procedure st_get customer ID with respect to phone number as select from customer C, where C dot phone number is equals to @phone. Okay, and then @phone, it should be varchar 15, that's it, and right here C dot ID. Okay, as customer ID. So what will happen when I provide the phone number of that customer? The ID of that customer will be picked up. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so create. Commands completed successfully. Now we have to call this or retrieve this data. Do we have any built-in or our already defined function for calling this data? No, I think I don't have. So let's go to the main class, sorry, retrieval class, and write here a function again, public static integer. Is that integer customer ID? The customer ID is big integer, so right here integer 64, and then get customer ID with respect to phone, and then you have to specify the phone number inside this, and then come inside and write return keyword, write try catch, and then copy this code, paste it, remove this procedure, add this procedure, and then parameter also. So cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and then you have to specify the name of the parameter, that is @phone, comma the original parameter of the function. @phone I think is, yes, we have phone. Now main class. Okay, copy that main class and all that. Where is the connection open? Okay, I don't have right now, so instead of searching for that, just write it connection open, and then copy connection close, and then cmd, or instead of cmd you have to specify integer 64, that is cust id equal to 0 by default, and you have to specify here cust id equals to convert dot to integer 64, and then cmd dot execute scalar, because I have only one phone number. Okay, why I am using, yes, because the data will come inside the integer 64 data type, so it's fine. cmd dot execute scalar dot to string, and then convert it into integer 64 and store it in this, and write a message main class dot show exception message, and then write here ex, and write here ex dot message comma message type, that is error. Now return, what you have to return, the customer id. Save. So when you call this method, what will happen? The customer id will be fetched out with respect to the phone number. So come inside the orders window here. When you write the phone number inside this, okay, so you have to specify integer 64 and then customer id. So here you have to specify customer id equals to retrieval dot get customer id with respect to phone, and the phone number is in phone text. So phone text dot text is the code, and that's it. So based on this phone number, the id will be retrieved. Okay, and let me show you for verifying. Let me show a message box, and then here you should write customer id. Okay, so when you write the okay, what it is saying, message box dot show, it should be dot to string. Now it's fine. You have to specify the string. On text change, let's see what will happen. But on text change is not good, because every time when you press a particular key, the message will be appeared. So it's better to retrieve the id on focus leave. So select this text box, go to its events, and come on focus leave. So when you are leaving the text box, and if copy that code, where's that code, double click on it and copy this one and come inside focus leave at the end. So when you are leaving this text box, what should happen? If phone text box is not empty, then the color is fine, then they retrieve this, and then this message box, else this. I have pasted this code here. Okay, on focus leave, let us see what will happen. Is the id is appearing or not? And let's go to the customers, and do we have customers inside the customers table? Yes, we have customer, and its phone number is 23. So when I pass 23, the id should be returned, that is 2. So let us check. Login, orders, add, and then we have the, okay, just select the data, Pakistani cuisine, and then this, order typed dine-in, no, takeaway, because we have to specify the phone number. So phone number, that is 23. Yes, so write 23. Okay, it is showing me some mistake. Okay, 23. Okay, on text change it is working. So on text change you have to remove that. That's why I have used text leave. Stop it and go to on text change, remove this. On text change I don't need this, because after completely writing my phone number, then the phone number id, the id of the customer will be retrieved. So remove from here, and it will be executed when you leave that text box. So let's start and check. Login, orders, and add, and then the order type should be takeaway. So phone number 23, nothing is happening. When you press tab, the id is appeared. Okay, so based on that phone number, the id is there. okay. And if the customer is not there, let's say if the customer is not there, what should you do? You should navigate to your customers window to first add that customer, okay. So how to do that? Just come inside. If the customer is not there, if the ID is not there, then what you have to specify? You have to go to your which window? Customers window. So customers window CW equal to new customers window, and then main class dot show window bracket open. What it is asking? CW, then MDI, that is my, sorry, I am going to use the overloaded version, that is I want to close this window, then MDI dot active form. That's it. So when someone ring you, gives you a call that I wanted to place this, and you come inside the orders window, and then you press this button, and then when you select the order type, let's say home delivery, and then when you enter the phone number, let's say 034512312331, and that phone number is not present in your database, and when you press tab, it is saying nothing is blank. Why it showed me error? Let me check. So it's at this point, when I am here, when I press tab, I am coming inside this, then color white, then this customer ID is by default 0, the phone number is appeared, okay. Then okay, because the connection was already open, let me close the connection first, save it. Now check, login, and then orders, and go to the add button, and then order type, let's say home delivery, then phone number 034512312331, tab, we have come inside, and then this method is executed, connection is opened, exception is here. So why this exception is occurring? Let us check. Object is null. Which object is null? CMD dot parameters. What is null here? CMD dot execute scalar. Let me check it. Alright, because look, I don't have any phone number or any customer ID based on that phone number that I was passing. So what I can do here, I can write a if else condition. If CMD dot execute scalar, it is returning you what? Let me stop it. Look, it is returning you something is equals to null. If nothing is appearing here, okay. If CMD dot execute scalar is equals to null, then what you have to specify? Cust ID equals to 0, simple. Else cust ID should be this. Hopefully this will resolve the error. Let us start and check. Right, so let's check. Orders, add, order type, home delivery, and when you enter the phone number, nothing is happening. You should have to navigate to the customers window because this phone number is not available inside the database. So what is the problem? The problem is this condition, because you are entering the phone number and the phone number is there, so this condition will never execute. So what you have to specify here? On leave you have to check if that variable customer ID is greater than 0. If the customer ID is you have to specify some condition on leave that if it does not exist, or if the customer ID is equal to 0. No, wait, that condition is correct. Here you have to specify a condition. If the customer ID that you have received, if customer ID is equals to 0, okay. If the ID that is returned is 0, that means the customer does not exist. So move to that window. Simple. I hope it is clear to everyone. And remove this else, I don't need it. Make these brackets in alignment, move some code, and then it's fine. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now look, when you leave the text box, it will check that it is not empty. If it is not empty, then the color is white, and then get customer, then the ID will be fetched out with respect to that phone number. If the ID exists, then this ID will be, let's say 234, whatever will be the ID. If the ID will not exist, that it will return, this function will return 0, and I have checked. If it is 0, then move to the customers window. Simple as that. So let's check what will happen after executing this. Login, orders, and then add order type, home delivery, and then phone number, add to cart. Sorry, because I have mistakenly clicked that add to cart, orders, add, and then order type, home delivery, and then phone number, this, and press tab. So you are navigated to the customers window. Okay, so when you press save and then come back and then come here, and then you have to place your order, right? So let us check once again with respect to, let's say, home delivery, and the number that I have already, that is 23. So I am not going anywhere because this customer is already available at my side. One thing you have to specify, if the customer is there, you have to specify its details, so that you have to confirm that what is the address and all about all the things. Okay, so you have to specify that also. So let's come inside our stored procedure and get customer ID with respect to phone number. So based on phone number, you have to specify other things also. Okay, so for that purpose, come inside and c dot customer name as name, and then c dot address as address, and then you have to alter this. So that's fine, you have altered. Now you have to change the retrieval, because now you are not having the single data, you are having multiple records. So what you can do, you can remove this, and instead of this you have to write here, let me zoom in, SQL data reader dr equal to cmd dot execute reader, so that my all data will be read out. If dr dot has rows, then come inside while dr dot read, right? So that's what the case. And if you do not have any record, then simply add cust id equals to 0, and if you have the record, then cust id equal to convert dot to integer 64, and then specify the id, that is dr dot dr of, and then the column name is customer id. So copy it and double quotes, paste it, dot to string. Simple. So this is how you can retrieve your customer id and then store it inside the customer id data type, variable. And then the next thing you have to specify is the customer name and the customer address. So can I create properties here? So public static string customer name, or write customer, come inside and then get and then set, and make it private set, and then come inside get and write here return, and return what? I am creating some variables here, let's say private customer comma private string customer comma address. Two variables I have created. So what I have to do, spelling mistake, that is customer, and then you have to specify static here also, static. Now use customer, return customer, and then you have to set the value inside the property, that is the value keyword. Okay, so customer, here you have to specify customer equals to dr of double quotes dot toString. So whatever will be the name of the customer, it will be fetched out, that is copy and paste. And then the last thing, we have to create another property with the name address. So copy it and paste it and write here address in capital so that it can be distinguished. The name of the variable is address, the original variable. Okay, this is what encapsulation is. So I have created two properties with the name customer and address, and inside these properties I am picking or retrieving the data. So this is what we have, address, 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 yes, and then it should be address. Now customer address and customer name is stored inside these two properties. When you have data, this is the case. Else you can specify, copy it and paste it, and instead of this make it blank. I hope it is clear to everyone. So when you run this method, the customer ID will be fetched out and it will be returned, and these customer name and address will also stored inside a property. Okay, so now what you can do, when you click or when you enter the phone number, if the customer is there, okay, his or her details should be displayed. So let us come inside the phone number, the leave event here. So when we are leaving and the customer ID is there, so else, if the customer ID is available, then else what should happen? Main class dot show message, and you will write retrieval. The class name is retrieval dot look customer concatenation \n for new line, and then concatenation retrieval dot address concatenation and then \n. Okay, and that's it. So what will happen? The message will be displayed with the customer name and the address. Okay, comma, the message type is success, and then you have to specify semicolon at the end. That's it. So what will happen? Let's see. Login, orders, add, and then you have to specify the order type, that is home delivery. When you enter the phone number and you press tab, so message box was not appearing. Why? Let me verify. Click here and then click tab, you come inside, the method is appearing. If dr.has rows, yes, the rows are there. Customer ID is picked up 2, then customer name is also that stored in Fahad, and then the address is NN. All things are coming. Then what's the problem? Customer ID is returned, customer ID is 2, it is coming here. So the else is coming, and then this the message box, look, show message, and then okay, the problem is with the name that you have specified here. That's the thing, that's the problem. Okay, stop it and go to your software and paste it here. That's the thing. Okay, that's why that message was not appeared. Let us run it again. Login, orders, and then we have to specify what the type home delivery, and then 2-3 tab, step out. Look, so when you are on phone, and when you are on phone, take away or home delivery, so when you enter the phone number, so you can verify. So you are speaking Mr. Fahad, right? Okay, so your address, please confirm your address. You have experienced this thing when you call the restaurants. So this is how you can fetch the address, and then when you click OK, then state, and then can carry on with the other things. Hopefully you have understood everything. Okay, now the next step is what we are doing. After specifying everything, just come inside this window on the save button. Where was the save button? Here we have the save button already. So in this save button you have to place the customer ID here. So my customer ID is here. Okay, so when you are in which mode, other than the dine-in mode, that is the takeaway mode. So takeaway mode or home delivery mode, in both the modes you are here inside this. Okay, one more thing you have to specify, else if, and then right here order type drop down dot selected index is equals to 1. So what is on 1? Go to your order type, and on 1 you have takeaway. Okay, so when you are in takeaway mode, you are paying directly. When you are in takeaway mode, you are paying directly. So you have to specify the customer ID, and then the order type, and then the look. Because you are in takeaway mode, so you don't need tables and you don't need floors, so write 0 for floor and 0 here also, and then the total amount and the amount that the customer is paying. How can you take that amount? That's another question. So when the order is takeaway, so one more window should appear here, that is you ask the amount and then you have to return that amount also. So for that purpose you have to do something. Alright, so there is a lot more stuff to do. So guys, time is about to finish, so I think I should stop here, and we will continue in another part of the orders window, that is the part number 5. So I will record another lecture for this orders window to continue and finish this insertion work. So hopefully you have understood the today's lecture, and if you do not understand anything, please do write me. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.